Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Movie Magic Show for Tuesday, the 7th of June, 2022. I am one of your hosts, Shane Bailey, joined by my wickedly talented cast. To my right, it's the film filleting, TV show hating, thought elaborating, Mr. Movies, Ben Stapleton.
Hi, Shane.
Hi, Ben. And to his right, it's the dulcet tones in your headphones, here to engineer a sincere atmosphere, Terry Fear.
Ah, dude.
How are we, dulcet man?
Nice.
Oh, I'm as dulcet as they come.
Dulcet and cozy, it seems, in your little...
Yeah,
is that an
very
hoodie?
cozy. This is... I'm wearing Uggies, man. It's
Oh,
the best.
nice.
I have it on my list of things to do, Shane. I'm going to get one of those hoodie things.
Nice. I feel like I want to call you Mean Mr. Mustard, Ben. I've noticed this mustard sweater top appear every now and then.
Yeah, it's one of my faves.
It looks cozy.
It's not bad.
We hope you're cozy too, dear viewer. If you're tuning in for the first time, you might be very confused. You're like, what on earth is going on? Movie Magic Show is live on a Tuesday. Usually, we're live every Wednesday, right here on twitch.tv/magic_cast. That's right. We chuckleheads get together to love, like, bash, and trash the latest the entertainment world has to offer. If you like that, follow us here on Twitch to catch the show live, or catch all our past episodes on my YouTube channel. Just search Magic Casts, all one word, on YouTube. Catch all of our past episodes there. And follow us on Twitter as well, at Movie Magic Show. We'll notify you when we're going live and which films we're going to be reviewing, which for this week will be a 2007 action film in Next, starring the one and only Nick Cage. And then in the latter segment, it'll be the latest in Tom Cruise's filmography, Top Gun Maverick, the sequel to the 80s classic, finally gracing our cinema screens after many, many years. And we'll also play a little movie actor go as well, maybe a bit of framed and actoral. I was naughty, I accidentally did them today.
I have not.
It didn't click with me, so... Have you done them, Ben?
I have not.
Okay, good. All right, good. We'll see how we go. And before we get to those, though, we need to set up our end games. These are games we like to play with you at the end of the show. First among them are our film quotes. We're going to give you two separate quotes. You need to guess which films they're from. I defer to Mr. Movies, Ben Stapleton, for movie quote number one.
Ears and noses will be the trophies of the day, but no hand shall touch him.
I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
Ears and noses will be the trophy.
Hello, Simone. All good, all good. Just glad you are here. Thanks for joining us. And movie quote number two, courtesy of the dulcet tones.
Hey, I would have killed him. No, not today. He is trained to kill. You seemed trained to drink. Oh yes, my friend. You would have fought very bravely and died very quickly. Who then would avenge your brother?
Hey, Maxie, okay going? When Terry sent me this, I replied back saying, I knew the day would come where we'd get a quote from this movie, and I'm so happy. But I've got no idea what it is, so you're going to have to tell me two more quotes, Terry. And the other game we like to play is 6 Degrees. We're going to give you two actors. You need to try and link them via actors that they've starred alongside. The pairing comes courtesy of yours truly. Who was it? It is going to be Brad Garrett to Elizabeth Hurley.
Whoa!
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I don't know
two
who
names.
Brad Garrett is.
You know Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett.
Okay.
He's Bruce.
Everybody loves Raymond's brother.
Oh.
Bruce
yeah.
the Shark.
No.
Bruce the Shark is,
the Blowfish.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's the
Yeah.
Blowfish. Who's Bruce the Shark?
Dame Edna dude.
Yeah, what's his
Oh,
name?
yeah. that's it.
No.
Oh my god. I
His
can
name.
see his face. Barry Humphries.
Barry Humphries. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Very
some
good.
reason, I was going to say Norman Gunston, which is another Australian comedian. But
Maxie's on
not
it, he knows.
The same. They are not even remotely similar.
Anyway, those are our end games. We'll play those at the end of the show. Before we get to the end of the show, let's get to the start of the show with our first review. It's going to be of Next, which is a 2007 American science fiction action thriller film directed by Lee Tamahori and starring Nicolas Cage, Julianne Moore, and Jessica Biel. The film's original script was loosely based on the 1954 science fiction short story The Golden Man by Philip K. Dick. The film tells the story of Chris Johnson, a small-time magician based in Las Vegas, who has limited precognition. His ability allows him to see into the very immediate future. His gift not only makes him a target of a highly motivated and heavily armed group of terrorists, but also puts him in the crosshairs of the FBI, who want to recruit him to oppose those terrorists instead. The film was released on April 25th, 2007 in Belgium and France, and on April 27, 2007 in the United States by Paramount Pictures. With a production budget of $78 million, the film grossed $76 million worldwide, making it a box office flop. Audiences are middling on this one, 6.2 on IMDb from 158,000 users.
Oh, that's in the top 250, right?
Yeah, almost. And the Metascore from the critics, 42.
Yeah.
Very low. Gentlemen, tell me, Rotten Tomatoes.
Pretty sure I would have to say that this is super likely to be certified rotten. So I'm going to say like 44.
30, Shane. 30.
28%, guys. You give Nick Cage too much credit. What's
I
going
give
on?
100%. Too much credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely top 250 Nick Cage movies.
Have there been more than that? I'm inclined to say yes.
Yeah.
At this point.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's a shame Mr. Mira, the Nick Cage fans, to the extent that he has Nick Cage framed in his house, in his apartment, can't be with us to review this one. But anyway, we'll go to you first, Ben. You were closest, even though you shot over. Next, 2007 American sci-fi film. What did you think?
First, I'd like to apologize to everyone involved in reviewing this. It's all my fault. I brought it up. I was just skimming. I never do this, but I was just skimming Netflix or something and saw it. And I was like, all right.
That's so funny, Ben, because that's all I do with Netflix.
Is it?
You know what I like to do? I like to skim through Netflix, find movies that I love, hover over them, and then see what they've chosen for the preview.
Right.
And then I move on. I don't watch it.
Yeah. Don't watch the movie.
I don't watch, and I do that for like half hour.
I kind of do that with the synopsis as well. I read the synopsis to see like how close to what, especially if it's a movie I've seen, obviously. But,
yeah. One of my favorites is it's not a film, it's a TV show. It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's always that I think from the first episodes where Captain Holt goes to Jake's like, these are two pictures, one of your locker and another of the garbage dump in the Philippines. Can you tell which is which? Yeah. So good. Anyway,
and he's like,
back on. It is, yes, on Netflix. If anyone is compelled to watch it after our review, but I've got a feeling you won't be. But Ben, over to you.
Look, I was really excited to talk about this with Jason specifically, and he's not bloody here, because I was hoping to have a conversation, though it wouldn't have worked out that way, because he said he hasn't really seen it end to end. Like, he said he saw snippets of it or something.
Oh no, I think that was the other film that you mentioned as well. It wasn't even Next. I think he's seen Next at all. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. 8mm was the one he's only seen.
He flat out hasn't seen this one.
How about that? So yeah, I was hoping to have a situation where like Jason is in love with the movie. I could be persuaded, but I want to bash it up a little bit first because it annoyed me. Yeah. And then we can both agree that it was worth watching or something, or at least worth this conversation or something like that. So let's just bash it anyway.
Nice.
This movie has a 10 out of 10 for like idea. Like,
yes.
Missed opportunity idea.
Yep.
Like it's such a great premise for a film. It sets up so well. It's a bit shaky with its execution of Act 1 of the setup. Yeah. But I was still hanging on, and then it starts to really waver in Act 2, and then at the end, that when the movie ended, I got so angry.
Oh, I was exactly the same. I'm so happy that we feel the same way.
I was so upset. Upset. I watched for some reason my thing, Shane, to do is to watch reviews of movies that I like. I don't watch the movie. I just watch these guys, Red Letter Media, do a review about it and see what they thought. And then I go like, or like, oh, I didn't think of it like that, or what have you. And I also watch reviews of movies that I haven't seen that I know are bad, just to watch them shit all over them. And the reason I tell you that is so that I can tell you this. They reviewed the last Twilight movie, the second Breaking Dawn
Part 2 or something.
Part 2. Yeah. And that movie ends, spoiler alert, but just don't, with like a huge climactic action sequence, and people are ripping heads off, and there's wolves ripping people apart, and crazy losses on both sides of this bloody battlefield. And then the fortune teller vampire, which they just introduced the power of fortune telling into vampires in that same book, wakes up from a dream. And the whole second half of the movie is just been a what if that never ifed, that never happened.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if she planted that inside the bad guy's head so he would see that he's
He would
wrong
see
and
the consequences. Yeah.
see the consequences of him
Yeah.
pursuing this war and then
Yeah.
back away from the war. I think that's what they were going for.
Pretty much.
Terrible idea. Don't do that. If
Yeah.
you're making a story and you go, and then it never happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Red Letter Media guys are talking about this movie, saying like it's just guys standing in a living room talking like in a soap opera for 2 hours, and then an hour of stuff. The only thing in the movie that happens in the third act, and then it doesn't. They reverse it.
Yeah.
They retcon it right away.
Retcon it,
and
yeah.
that's what I remembered when I finished Next. I was like, why
Yeah.
did you even do that to me? Why?
Yeah.
Because there's a big similarity there that I won't reveal, but it's like nothing matters kind of feelings I was getting. I was just like, oh my God, that's so bad. That's such a terrible idea. Why did you do this? Anyway. Okay, so I don't know whether this came out before or after Con Air, but this is kind of like, Nicolas Cage can be he's an action star now. So let's find some more stuff
That's a
like
full
that.
decade later, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so he's proven himself as an action hero or something. Unless you ask me, I don't really like Con Air, but everybody else does. And then this, is an action. It's a very Con Air-ish kind of. He's a macho kind of guy. He always gets what he wants, that kind of thing. But okay. I loved like so much of this movie. I think I had a good experience actually watching it, except for the end when it just was terrible. Like having a delicious meal and the dessert was just awful, and it ruins your night or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I want to say something more concrete than this. So let's go with Jessica Biel. Something like that. How
It's
about
been a while.
Jessica Biel?
I can't remember the last time I saw her in a film. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about
She's a
you.
good actor. And she was in this
the best actor in this film.
in the
100%.
film. Yeah.
Like, she does the best job of delivering her specific lines out of everyone who delivers any lines.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's not given the best character either.
No.
She's not got the best written character. She's just the
Well,
heart.
it's all reaction,
job.
really. It's
Yeah.
Yes, she's the one who has to be the audience member in the room, like when we learn about this magic power. Okay, so maybe I should just do quick 20-second. What is this thing? How do they put this in the movie? So Nicolas Cage says some people actually have magic abilities.
Yeah.
And some magicians are just hiding in plain sight. They're pretending to conjure cheap tricks and sleight of hand and trick you, but in fact they're magic,
Yeah.
and they're using their magic to win on stage or whatever. And so he plays that guy. He's a guy who can see his own future 2 minutes in advance, or he can pick whichever alternate future he prefers, or he lives up until the point where he wants to go back 2 minutes, and then he relives that moment again until he's happy with what he's got, and then he lets that time pass. He can't go back further than 2 minutes. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I really do think that all of those things are literally the same, like practically identical. So it doesn't really matter which, but they do show you him doing both. Like, I'll get to that. But
Yeah.
then he has this crazy flash forward of many days. He doesn't know how many days, but he's like, oh my God, this has never happened before. It's only been 2 minutes my whole life until I just saw this beautiful woman, and it's some time in the future and I don't know when, but I know where. So he goes to the same place at the same time of day and waits for this woman to arrive eventually. And that's his plot line through the movie, trying to figure out what is this? Why is my power so much more advanced when I'm with this woman? We never find out why, by the way. Also very annoying. And then there's the Julianne Moore FBI thing. There's a nuclear bomb somewhere on American soil, and nobody has a bloody idea where. Everyone is frantically looking for this thing. It could go off at any moment. And Julianne Moore has it in her head that the thing she needs to do is track down this guy that she's pretty sure is onto something and can actually see the future or something. So she's kind of a believer, and she really thinks that he has some sort of supernatural ability, and for some reason she still has a job after she says that to her supervisor. And so he's like, you're right, take public money and some precious time that we needed to search for this bomb and go and get the fortune teller guy and let him off.
Get the medium.
So she takes a whole team of people to try and capture this guy, who can't be captured because if there's a foreseeable way that he couldn't, that he could get out of a situation with 2 minutes notice, he will literally...
it will be done.
It will be, that's how it will happen. And that I loved. I loved thinking about that and the mind screwery of it. And like I said, it's portrayed in 2 different ways, which I also was kind of annoying. One was he walks up to the girl once he sees her up in the diner. He has to befriend her or something. So he walks up and tries to hit on her or something, and she just cannot be persuaded. So she's just like, get out of here, creep. And then he resets just like About Time style.
Yeah, similar
he
to
goes
that.
back,
I did get that vibe.
And with the knowledge of what he's just done, he does it again, and he plays it a little bit different. And then he does it again, and the joke is, nothing is good enough for this. Like, he cannot elevate himself to a level where he can talk to this woman, which is hilarious. And then later, it is done in a completely different style of visual storytelling, where he just stands still, and then 30 different copies of himself spread out in all directions. And then he searches the whole warehouse or whatever, and looks under every nook and cranny and tries to find the way to go and where the booby traps are, or whatever. It's the end of the movie. It's very actiony, and he tries to find the safest route to go. And he does it all at once. But I'm just annoyed at the whole premise of that third act. I don't know. I've been talking too much. Maybe you guys can tell me what you guys thought, and then I can complain some more.
Go for it,
just
Terry.
that diner scene, missed opportunity. He decides to let Chucklehead McGee Stalkerface punch him in the face after like defeating him by dodging everything because he sees it all coming, and doesn't take that opportunity to, when he allows himself to be hit, to say, I should have seen that coming. Like, that's a scripting short, like, I'm like, that's low-hanging fruit that I think everyone would have appreciated, because he hams it up. I
like
don't
Push,
like
that movie Push.
Yeah, except
Exactly
we
like
made that
that.
joke. She should have seen that coming. Yeah, very similar. This is not a good movie. Julianne Moore is a stunner and a brilliant actress. We know this for a fact, but like, she was directed very poorly in this. Like, very, very like Days of Our Lives kind of soap opera delivery of her like badass kind of lines, and she just seemed really wooden in that position and in that role. And even though I think Jessica Biel did the best job out of everyone in it, she still didn't do, I don't know, she did great relative to everyone else.
Yeah.
But there's so many circumstances that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, she's a prisoner at one point.
She's taken by the baddies.
Yeah, taken by the
who
bad
don't demand
guy.
anything or try to do anything with this asset.
And let's just shelf that for one moment.
Okay.
How the frick do they know about this weird magician guy?
Yeah, that too.
That doesn't, like, he's on everyone's radar, but no, like, the FBI, they kind of talk about it. She's like, oh, this guy came up on our fraud, watchdog something or other, and I've been paying attention to that, and I'm like, really? Like, he's pretty careful.
Just one, exactly that same thing, but one line from the bad guys. Like, one of our FBI moles tells us
that they're interested in this person.
Done.
It's really strange that someone in that group is after this guy as well. Maybe they're after it because the FBI are after him as well, but we don't really know. But like,
so they're like my dog.
Yeah.
Oh, we picked up that toy. I want that toy now. Oh boy.
Back to the thing with Jessica Biel being a prisoner. She's not gagged. She's just like bombarding them with questions. Like, where are you taking me? What is this? What's going on? Who even are you people? Like, she's doing a great job of reacting to this situation and asking the questions that a normal person would have in this set of circumstances. I think, like, maybe.
And the bad
But,
guys
like,
are like, what do we do about this? I just ignore it. That's the only thing I
And,
can
like,
think
they're
of.
literally, yeah, that she might as well not be there for all of the reaction that is garnered from these people, and it just like, it's just so strange. Like, the casino security boss guy is like really dumb, but like, you don't get to be like head of security in Vegas in any of the casinos if you're not a smart person.
Can we talk about the casino thing?
Well, like, he
Just for a
gets
sec.
pulled in by oh, sorry, yeah, go for it.
I was going to mention that's part of the, like, he's still monologuing intro to the movie,
Yeah,
like the
it
first 5
is.
minutes, where he's like, so yeah, the magician thing's just a cover. I work the casinos because I can see every card that's going to turn up
Yeah,
within 2 minutes, so I can just play, blackjack all I like. And
but
then,
he says in that he only ever plays against the house. He doesn't he doesn't play poker against people to take their money. He
Right.
takes the casino's money, as if that's like meant to be a noble kind of difference. It's like, it's still theft, basically.
He is a very good guy and a very noble, moral actor in so many ways. But a very dark way that I'll get to in a sec. But he said so. I also, this was another thing I didn't understand. So he robs from the casino. He gets kind of caught. He runs. They know who he is, but he gets away. And he's acting like this happens on the regular, like his buddy that is at his house or whatever.
Yeah.
Says like, oh, did that happen again, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how many times is this guy burning identities to steal $6,000 from the casino? Like,
9, but
this
yes.
doesn't make any sense to me. What I just saw in the opening, where he's driving his car, and it's a great excuse to have a car chase scene, like a really cool car chase scene where he can see, if I speed up now, a train is going to hit me, so I've got to wait
Terrible
a second
visual
or
effects.
speed up better or something like that. Bad visual effects also.
Yeah.
So he can see when he's going to get into an accident, so he's like the perfect maneuver guy in a car chase, which is great. And also, I loved how he got himself out of the jam in the casino, where the guys are radioing to the security on the floor, and they're like, he's just to the left of you. You just missed him, and he's just weaseling in and out of everywhere because he knows where everyone's going to be. Kind of really cool.
The guy on that comms is an idiot. It's like, which guy's left are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, he's right between you. It's like, you've got 30 guys on the floor. That's not helpful. He's like, he's over there. It's like, thank you.
Great call outs.
So much for the call out. It's like, yeah.
I'm pointing at him right now. I'm pointing at him right
You saw him.
Yeah. You just looked right at him. Yeah. It like, there's a lot about this that doesn't quite stack up. And this for me, this story is completely dead in the water because of the way that it handles the third act. I mean, there is this developing thing which they don't really explain, except in this dialogue with his buddy, who, I just picked up where that guy's from. He plays the henchman. Have you guys seen the Great Race? It's got
Yes.
Don Lemon and not Jamie Lee Curtis. Feckin', what's his name? Anyway,
Jamie Foxx.
no, it's an old film.
I know.
The
I was
henchman
being
for
silly.
Don Lemon is the guy who is the buddy of Nick Cage's character, whose name
Oh
I
yeah,
already forget.
the older fella. Sure.
Yeah, the older fella. It was bugging me when I was watching the film. I'm like, I know who this guy is, but I can't remember where I've seen his face from. And it just came to me just then. He's like, I don't know why I'm seeing her. Maybe it's because she's the one. And like, he gets an eye roll from the old guy, which everyone should be doing, because it's like, maybe this person who's like 10 to 15 years younger than you is like, 8.59 out of 10 compared to your, like, I mean, he dresses nicely, but like Nick Cage's face is not like winning any awards. And that's not me saying like I'm any better looking, but it's like, anyway, it's like, maybe it's the one. And like, they've injected this lovey kind of thing into the mix. But I don't know. It's really frustrating, and the fact that he's only ever been able to do 2 minutes. They don't really explain, and he doesn't understand.
I don't think any of us could do
why.
more than 2 minutes with Jessica Biel, but go on.
Oh, but even like they met at a diner, and like he intervened in a interaction with her ex, and within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, like they're in a hotel room together. And it's like, either he's that good, which the film does a terrible job of demonstrating, like he has very bad game based on the approaches that he used to
You know what's
try and
funny
get
is
at the table.
Literally, that is the best he has. Like,
Yeah. It's like, I'll try this approach and then this approach. And it's like, you only see 3 out of however many he can do in 2 minutes. I love that one of them is like, he half gets up and she's like, don't even. And I'm like, that's kind of funny. Like, she clocked you
know what?
staring at her.
The direction of the film there, like the way they cut that in, I literally thought, oh, she's got his ability too. Or she can see through his trick, and she's going to, that's her revealing that, you know, quit while you're ahead, buddy. You've already tried this 3 times. Kind of, that's what I thought she was doing.
That would have been,
not at all.
That would have been great. Like a plot twist for the film. They didn't really showcase the awesomeness that his ability might have until he's doing that multiplicity kind of thing. And then it's like you said, you know, it retcons everything that just happened in the same way that like someone in their HSE might finish a story by saying, and then I woke up. Like it's really, really bad. It's not good. It's bad storytelling.
Shane, what did you think? Did you hate it?
I didn't hate it, and I
don't hate it either. It's not.
I jumped online with played some Halo with Jason last night, and he asked me like, because I'd finished watching it, and he was like, "What do you think?" And the way I described it to him is that it was one of those. It's so bad that it's good, but also that same feeling of I'm laughing at myself because I can't believe I'm enjoying this right now. Oh, speak of the devil, he's here, and he's subscribed for an 8-month streak. Thank you so much, Chase. And thank you also to Shermaine earlier for the follow. It was one of those things, Ben, where I'm just like, I don't hate this. And if this premise is put in the hands of like Christopher Nolan, then we get something brilliant out of it, you know? So I was constantly looking for I see a brilliant idea and story shining through this. And it also made me wonder, like, I wonder what the form of this short story, the Golden Man, I think by Philip K. Dick, how that is, you know, take shape. I think they said loosely inspired by, so I'm not sure it'd be exactly this. Like what you said, this is not a great movie. You know, its component parts are all really poor in the sense that the acting is poor. Some of the writing is really, really bad. Specifically, Julianne Moore's writing, where things like, you know, Chris Johnson is asking, like, you know, very reasonable questions like, why do you need me? You know, why am I being taken? And what about my rights? And she's like, you have a responsibility to help your fellow man because you have this ability. I'm like, what? That can't be further from the truth.
So that whole angle was just so muddled.
Yeah, when I heard that come out of her mouth, I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, that's the shortcut you're taking just through this mess just to get to the next scene.
All I got from her character was, like, because she finally gets her hands on this guy, right? Or he agrees to help. No, she gets her hands on him. And she can do whatever she's planned to do now. And her plan is, I'm going to sit him down in front of the news, and then he'll tell me when the bomb is about to go off.
Yeah.
And so she sits him down in front of the news, and she says, try and push that 2 minutes as far as you can, and let me know what you find. that just read to me as she is so desperate and has given up all
Rational
realistic hope of
Yeah.
finding this actual device that
Yeah.
she's resorted to. I sure hope it's 2 or less minutes walk away from me right now,
But
and I can stop it in time.
Yeah.
No, because like we've watched The Newsroom. Shit doesn't hit the news instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
like
it's
hey,
terrible idea.
I just like we're getting mixed reports. We don't know what's happening, and like that doesn't get to the anchor who's on the thing saying we're getting mixed reports. It's like the people that are in the back in like the
producers,
bullpen. The producers they're like chasing down leads, and they're gonna get like they're gonna treat the first one like a crank call. The second one's like, oh okay, maybe there's something here, but yeah,
most people aren't going to hear about it for
every
5-10
moment
minutes.
Yeah.
So,
after it happens. Yeah,
but she knew this going. Like she has done so much research on this guy. She's like
she's knuckled
looking
down
at all this
to-
footage.
yeah.
Oh, he didn't bet on this hand because there was a bigger delay of just more than 2 minutes or whatever. So she's pretty
Delay
sure
from
this
what?
guy's got 2 minutes. Sorry.
Delay from what? That was one of the things I found confusing. It's
I
like
think maybe a guy was changing his chips over or something. I don't know.
right, okay,
It's like he's next to make a bet or something, and sorry.
right,
After he would have made his bet, someone is choking up 2 minutes worth of the dealer's time before the dealer will reveal the card, something like that.
right, okay, that makes sense.
Anyway, but yeah, like I said, it's not a great movie, but I saw the idea shining through, and that's kind of what I was holding on to. And there was enough schlocky, cringy moments that just kept like I was laughing at the film, and so that's what was entertaining me across the 90 minutes. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, because at first I wasn't entirely sure when this film released, and then I saw 2007. I was like, how is this a 2007 film? This feels like a late 90s, like Con Air, early noughties film. Like, we're talking about, I just wanted to look up some like other action films that came out in 2007. The entire Bourne trilogy had already released before this film released. 300 came out the same year.
Okay.
So did Shooter. So did Hot Fuzz. A year later, Iron Man and the Dark Knight released. Like, this movie does not belong in 2007. I honestly can't believe this film released in 2007 in the way that it did.
I think there's a number of things that they could have done to save budget. I didn't mean this one.
Yeah, so I don't know. At the end of the day, it was like, and that, to your guys' point, the third act completely undid any goodwill's the wrong word, but any enjoyment that I
lost
pulled
any
from
lead.
it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
The worst part for me was that I know why they did it. They sacrificed credibility in the way that. Let me just get to the brass tacks here. They made it more actiony by having him react at the last second for something. Like, look out, there's a sniper just around the, and then the sniper is firing. He should have been like 2 minutes ago seeing that sniper around the corner that would have fired at him.
Telling the SWAT unit, when
right.
we round this corner, this guy's going to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing should have surprised him. That's the very nature of his personage. That's his very experience going through life. Nothing surprises him. And yet this action scene is happening. Maybe it's just too much to see or something. But yeah, this action stuff is happening, and he's like, look out, that, like, real quick shit, this is just about to happen kind of call outs.
To the extent that there's like one SWAT guy in his unit that's surrounding him, like, bites the dust because he's like, there's a guy up there, and they're like, AK-47 spray comes right at them, and one guy gets taken out while the others step aside to dodge it. Couldn't have said that 30 seconds earlier.
So I had a big gripe with that whole aspect of it. I was like, oh, that's not how I've been, like, that. I've built up an understanding of what is happening here.
That's not the story they've been telling.
This is a complete divorcing from that. But the reason is, otherwise you wouldn't have people firing at each other. Like,
exactly.
He would have planned this whole thing out or whatever. He could search, like, okay, so this is me. This is the thing I enjoyed about the movie. I got to do a lot of what if imaginary spaces, like, what if I could do this thing? What
you didn't enjoy the movie, Ben. You were daydreaming the whole time, and that's what you were. That's what you were enjoying.
For starters, I was like, okay, he can witness anything that's 2 minutes or less travel at the fastest running speed that he's got from where he is at all times. Everything he can see. As long as he applies himself, I guess, and runs everywhere and checks, I guess. Or that he would do that. It's possible that he might do that. It's a potential future. I'm really not 100% sure exactly how this thing works. The answer to that is probably it doesn't work. Because
the premise kind of falls down.
What's happening? It's happening instantly, subconsciously. It's not even Doc Strange, hovering in place, head going, or looking ahead in the future. It's not even taking any time.
No, except for that one part in the third act. Again, when it does happen, he's like, "You guys take the bottom level, I'll take this level," and he just stands still.
I'll take everything else.
And then they go down and they look at their shit for a minute, and he's just standing there with his eyes closed, and then they come back to the same spot, and he's still standing there. And then he's like, "All right, I know where to go now." And it's like, mate, are you sure that's how that's working?
Yeah, realistically, he should let me just look at the whole place and then instantly say, okay, we have to go here. Yeah.
Yeah, it should have been much more like the Doctor Strange thing, except for the sitting there for a while looking at everything. He should have just gone, all right, I got killed 65 times. The best way is this way. Let's go this way. That kind of deal. Okay. Let me see if I can convince you guys of this.
Just quickly, I want to get to people in chat. Jason says, another film with great concept and bad last third, Law-Abiding Citizen. I haven't seen that one. Is that, that's Gerard
Butler.
Yeah, okay, cool. And Xbox Gamer Dad's in chat as well. Hello, my good friend.
Law-Abiding Citizen is a good movie. I really like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to reveal too much of my perverted nature or anything like that, but okay, let's just say he's doing things that then he just resets and it doesn't matter, right? So he could be doing ridiculous, outrageous, the worst 1% of humanity things and then just go and just it never happened, you know?
Yep.
And it only happened for his brain or whatever. And he never does any of that kind of stuff. He actually tries to talk and woo a lady to like him, for example, or plays the casino against itself instead of just pickpocketing everybody he can possibly get away with, just walking past them in the street or whatever, taking everything from them. I haven't seen it, but Click, the Adam Sandler movie where he can
he can
change reality with the remote control,
rewind, fast forward.
According to the trailer I saw back when I was a kid, when that movie came out, he was a bit of a complete asshole with that thing. He beat his boss half to death or whatever, and
his boss was
a bit of a jerk or whatever.
Douche.
You still shouldn't beat someone half to death with being able to defend themselves. But
a very funny scene though.
I'm like, man, this guy is a saint. The reason I thought about this was this guy is, I don't know, because he's doing that thing, Shane, that I brought up with About Time, where he's tricking someone. Everybody just gets one shot in
life.
The real world.
Yep.
Yeah. Once you've said it, it's gone. You put your foot in your mouth. You're never getting that moment back. And not him. He can, learn something about you, go back and use it against you without you knowing that he knows it. That kind of deal. And he is doing that. And then I'm like, I don't know if that's a real thorny thing for me morally. I don't know if this character is really a hero or not. And then I realize this is literally how he experiences his life. He's not doing this he lived his life until his 30s and then learned this ability and he's like, oh, I can do all kinds of crazy things with people with this ability. He's the best eventuality for me is with 2 minutes foresight is my existence. And that's just how it goes. So I always say the absolute best thing, according to me, that I possibly can to someone at any time. And I was like, okay, that's a cooler way to think about it. I'm gonna think about that guy like that. And then he's a pretty down-to-earth kind of friendly guy who's very cordial and generous and doesn't rip people off and doesn't abuse people in almost any way. So what a hero. and then it fucks up the whole third act and it ruins the movie. But anyway, I think I've got enough off my chest now. I'll stop talking.
No, this has
about
been
it.
great, Ben. I did not expect to have this level, deep of a conversation
Yeah.
about Next. So yeah, I think let's do verdicts.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got one more thought.
Okay.
It'll take like 20 seconds. He's such a tortured person too, because anything terrible that could happen to him, he experiences that. Like you see him at the end again. I think if we just ignore the whole third act, the whole thing is better, and then this doesn't apply. But there's a part in the third act where he finds a tripwire the wrong way to a mine and blows up or whatever, and then he goes back to himself and he goes and he like shakes it off. He's like, oh, I just got blown up, and then he's like, hold on, look out, there's a laser mine there or whatever, and then they de-arm it and they go on. So I'm like, man, he's getting blown up and killed and shot and in car crashes all the time.
Yeah.
If every eventuality is for 2 minutes of his future is happening to him, So poor guy. I'm just trying to feel sorry for the guy. Life has given him lemons all the time. He's just getting all life's lemons, but he's turning it into lemonade all the time. You see, he's choosing to make the best path for himself be the reality for everyone else. He has to live all of his existences.
Yeah, if the one timeline he's on is also just like subconsciously experiencing those things, for me, he should just have a nosebleed 100% of the time. Just the trauma. From...
he's like everywhere, not everywhere, but he's doing everything all at once.
All at once, yeah, but not
all the time.
He's still feeling it somehow. Anyway,
but only within, like you mentioned, within that 2 minutes. But it's as soon as he enters somebody else's consciousness, because like as soon as the security guy is like, we're gonna have to pull him in, he looks up at the camera.
He looks up at the I've never made any.
It's for me. I think the way that his ability has to work is it's a type of
quantum entanglement kind of thing.
What's it called? Omniscience, but it's not fully external. I think it works on one of two functions. As soon as someone thinks about him and is going to do something that eventuates within a 2 minute time frame, he's aware of it. And like consciously, not subconsciously. But
I'm hearing what you're saying, Terry, is if his powers were known to the world, he could answer prayers.
I don't think so, because it still has this 2 minute time frame. So like the link between the guy making the call on the camera on the radio while looking at him on the camera, the consequences of that call will have happened within 2 minutes, which is why he's able to kind of see it and what was going to happen. So what we're seeing is different to what
from
he's
their point of view.
experiencing.
Him already figured all this shit out.
Yeah,
we're seeing what it's like
arrested.
on the other side.
They've come to the table and been like, "Sir, you're going to have to come with us." He's already seen that because it happened within 2 minutes of the.
And then he's gone, "Oh, I must be on the camera," and he's like looked up and he's like, "Yep, the camera's pointing right at me." And then they're like, "Is he looking at us?"
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that it must behave on the receiving end of other people's input. Omniscience, and he has to consciously apply himself to what if I did X. I don't think that you could function as a human being if it was just on all of the time, because like you could make so many different decisions at any given moment, but I think he would have to consciously apply himself to it. And that's interesting, which is one of the things that I like about the film. It's thought-provoking. It just executes it in such a ramshackle and poor manner. Like so many things that happen. Like I can understand them shooting the sniper because he opens fire with an automatic weapon, but they've got the bad guy dead to rights, and instead of being like, okay, you're going to answer some questions now, Julianne Moore's character just shoots him in the head. Like he was unarmed.
You probably had some intel about that bomb you've been told to go and find.
Aside from that, like he's like no longer a threat, and you're a law enforcement agent. Like it's like that's really dicey. That like I would say that's probably a bad shoot. That might not be a justified death. Like
Nicolas Cage could have prevented that. Let it happen.
He could have. Yeah.
Saw it happening and was like, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. but anyway, I enjoyed the film when I first watched it many moons ago, but it is a bad film. So if we're getting to verdicts,
let's do verdicts. We've been talking about Next for 40 minutes. Can you believe it?
Next.
If only we could go back and have our time again, right,
Oh
Shane?
my goodness. Ben, what's it going to be? I'm very keen to hear what you think.
I say don't miss it.
Whoa,
Watch it, but put your remote control outside of arm's reach because you will throw it at your TV when it ends. But up until that point, it's good.
Terry.
I kind of like Ben's approach to that. I'm going to say don't rush, but it's easy to watch. Yeah,
it's a don't rush for me. Look, it's 2007. Like, it's been 15 years.
And look at that. I convinced myself to like it. I said I wanted to argue with Jason, and he would convince me to like. I just convinced myself.
I never would have guessed Ben giving a green thumbs up to a Nick Cage 2007 film like this. But here we are. Next. It is available on Netflix, but I think it is leaving the service soon. So
it's on Stan. That's where.
It's also on Stan. Okay, maybe it'll remain there for a bit longer. But there we go. That is Next. Check it out if you will.
What's up next, Shane?
Whoa.